Okay. I guess this is where we say hello, YouTube. Want to make sure that we are on. So I'll have to turn down my microphone and all that good stuff. And we're going to be talking about my thoughts on the WNBA and where they need to improve. I've seen a lot of BS, even at post Caitlin Clark games. The ratings for the games really not that terrible after post Caitlin Clark, but the reality was Caitlin Clark will pull at least easily 1.2 to 2 million views, especially her last game when she got eliminated. Uh, her elimination game basically pulled 2.5 million, almost nearly peaked 3 million views. That is pretty darn good. But WNBA's been averaging pretty close to when they do this. It's pretty close to just about just under a million views per game during the playoffs, except a couple of series that do about 700,000. Still higher from last year and all that stuff. Okay, let's do this. Uh, my thoughts on the WNBA, I was really didn't really care for at the time before Caitlin Clark. This is long before Caitlin Clark into the league. My thoughts was it was an activist league, bunch of crybabies, whiners. That's why we made jokes at the WNBA. We called it the Whining National Basketball Association or Whining National uh, B word assholes and that. So or whining or whining nothing but assholes or something like that. I don't know. We made jokes over it over the years. Well, one of the lead activists is leaving the league. That's Diana Taurasi. I think when she entered the league, great player and all that stuff, but her activism just took the league from here down to here. It could Caitlin Clark get it from down wherever and show it up. Everything is going to go up, basically, because you got skilled players coming in. You got players coming in with great college deals and probably translated to into other things. People says that Nike's not going to come out with a Caitlin Clark shoe. Technically, in a way, they have to because it's a done deal. It's a signed contract. Uh, it's something that Clark attorneys may have to look into it in the near future in case the new shoe does not come out in a timely manner. But it is a 8-year deal, so it would have to come out probably next year while the popularity of Caitlin Clark is there. Uh, but there's a method to this madness in Business 101, especially in the last few years. Go woke, go broke. That's what basically what they say. Go woke, go broke. You're in business to make money. Profit where you can because one of these days your business will be up here, but one wrong bad decision, you're going out of business really quick. So that is another thing that they have to worry about. One thing I did not like I said, the players back in the day, this is before Caitlin Clark, they were always whining about they need more money, more money, more money. But then they always said, we don't need to put fans in the seat to get more money. We don't need viewers on TV to get more money. Uh, where they got that thinking, I'm not sending my kids to that school or to whatever school they go to. No way, no way, no way. Not happening. And I don't have kids. Thank God for that. Almost, I'm going to say thank God for that because I think my kids would have gone insane compared to what I had to see today and that. But I wish I would have had a kid. I would have basically, this is the right way, guys. This is the right way. You got to do this the right way. Uh, Reason I'm live today because I'm going to be busy tomorrow. I gotta do something for the main channel. uh, tomorrow morning, so I'm not going to be live tomorrow. That's why I decided to come live today. What else are things the WNBA could improve on? Well, their PR really sucks, especially when Caitlin Clark is in. They won't admit that the viewerships are up because of Caitlin Clark and her popularity. They're in, once again, they're in total denial, but yet because of her popularity, they decide to add 4 more games. And because of her popularity, they got this new TV deal that's going to start in 2026, where it is now could be worth more than $260 million. That means these players will get paid more. The attendance this year, not just for Caitlin Clark games, but they're also non-Caitlin Clark games, they're on a 20 to 30% rise. So that seats has increased. They start filling seats. Now it seems like now they want the money now. Unfortunately, the money doesn't come until the 2026 season, where an average WNBA player, even the worst player in the league, could possibly make triple digits. Uh, but you ain't gonna make nowhere near what the NBA makes, and that. So basically, there's a lot of basketball they need to improve on. Whatever they did in college, not working in the pros, because in the pros they want to be flashy and all that stuff. Remember, they're not skilled players. They can be skilled in other areas of the game. Let's say the outside shot is not easy to do. Not most everybody can make that shot outside that arch because that is 22.3 or almost nearly 23 feet out straight out from the point. That is a long shot, technically, in a way. But then there's WNBA players, including Caitlin Clark, can hit that logo three. And that's what people pays to see, the logo three. The great passing skills. Caitlin Clark and 2 other players can pass like crazy in this league if they can do it. Caitlin Clark does it all the time. I mean, she can do it in her sleep out there on that court. The refereeing situation, you gotta be fair with the rules with everybody. Usually, most officials will protect the star player because the star player is the cash cow. But the problem is, everybody in the WNBA wants to kill the cash cow named Caitlin Clark, technically in a way. But like I said, my thoughts on the league. Uh, I watched the league. I watched a couple games. There was still some chippiness with each other. You guys have to watch other games besides Caitlin Clark games. You're still going to see the same chippiness. You're going to see the same assault on the same players who has a lighter skin. Technically, in a way, that's how the game works nowadays because they see uh, someone comes in with good skills, they see it as a threat and they have to stop that threat because that tells them one thing: they have no skills themselves. It's almost like when you see YouTubers going battle at each other. Some has better skills over somebody else. It's just the way it is nowadays, guys. You have to improve your own skills regardless. If you're a basketball player and you really got to work on your skills, there's a video already out there on YouTube with Caitlin Clark doing her skills test. She does a 100 shots at different positions. She does a wall dribble, behind the pass dribble, off the wall type dribbling drills. She does all these drills. It really helps her skill. And also, what also helped her skill was she played against boys growing up. Even back in the early 2000s, when she was only like 3 or 4 years old, or 5 years old, maybe 6 years old, she had to play against boys because there's not many girl leagues, girl teams during that time period. So, yeah, it is crazy that we have to do this and that. So technically, it comes down to this, guys, gals. What the WNBA is trying to do, and I would say really be officiating has to really have to improve in some form. They're not going to be perfect. Let's just face it, nobody's perfect in the officiating. You got three officials, and they're all, it's like just like any other officiating crew in any sport, they're blind as a bat, and that. So, uh, but they have to make the rules more fair to everybody because that's what the rules is. The rules, you can't have a special set of rules that's not written to certain players because they play a certain way. You just gotta be rules gotta be fair across the board. It's basically that's how we got taught. If you played any organized sports, that's one thing you got taught is the rules of the game, and we have to play within the rules of the game. Then the officiating has their own set of rules how to officiate the game, and they have to make sure it's fair for both teams. In other words, the officiating is supposed to keep the game under control, not go let it out of control. And sometimes the officiating crews they don't step in fast enough. They don't call certain fouls when it's blatant fouls, and all of a sudden now you got a melee. In other words, malice at the palace, they call it. You don't want no fights that breaks into the stands like you see back in the old days of sporting events and that where players actually that is a heavy fine. It could be lifetime suspension nowadays. Back then, that was part of your ticket. Hey, went to a sporting event. I got beat up tonight just because I told a player he sucked. Nah, so he came in the stands and beat me up. And that's we don't need. Yeah, because that's what the rules are nowadays. Any player goes in the stands to attack a fan. It's usually the player is supposed to point out to security or to official to security to point out who said what, how they said it, and whatever they said, and that. So if you're gonna say something against a player, just don't cross that line and that. So, like I said, back in the day, the players are whining because they're not filling the arenas, they're not getting the TV views, but they want more money. Now they got the TV views. They're starting to see a bump in attendance, and now they're technically they're now more mad because they now got too many eyeballs on their product, and they got too many viewers watching their product on TV. So they're doing a polar opposite. Some of those activist players are doing a total polar opposite. So those players are nothing but freaking effing hypocrites. When there's empty seats, they want more. They want more butts in that seats. Now they got the butts in the seats. Now they're mad because there's too many butts in the seats. Not just because of the Caitlin Clark games, because now they're seeing a bigger attendance because people is now intrigued with the league. That's what you need to have. If you want to make money, if you want the league to thrive and be thrive on let's put it this way: the women of the WNBA, they want the league to be a charity. Not they don't want to work for nothing. They want it to be a charity, a hand-me-down. They want the hand-me-downs from the NBA, and that's all they want. They want the hand-me-downs. Now it's just polar opposite. Now, if you learn the business side of the thing, the Fever came out and said this. One of the management of the Fever came out and said this. Before Caitlin Clark, they couldn't sell an advertising space for a rock bottom minimum of $5,000. That's all they want, $5,000 just have an ad space anywhere in the building. Even on they offer the scoreboard as little as $5,000. But today, because of Caitlin Clark and they packed the building, if you want an ad on that scoreboard, that business is going to pay big money. If you want an ad on the scores table, where the ads flashes up on the scores table, you're paying big money for that. If you want to be part of the ribbon light advertising or permanent lighting advertising on that thing, and that divides the lower bowl and the upper bowl and the next tier bowl, you're paying big money for that. If you want ads in that program, you're paying big money for that now because that's what eyeballs do. That's what the attendance do. It draws the attendance in, attendance goes up. You got a fantastic star player that makes crazy passes, make the other team players look even better than they ever could be on their own. I mean, it's a team balance game, and the fans appreciate what they see on the court. This is involving Caitlin Clark, and now the other teams has to pick up their game to do the same thing. Has to have more skill level. but they don't have the skill of them because they're too busy whining and complaining about I don't have the skills. That's unfair because that's the I hate to use the R word, but that's a player that has more skills than me is a racist. They use all this all the time as an excuse. There is never an excuse. Either you have the skills to play to that key, play to that level, or just get out of the league because right now you got new players coming in. I just can't wait for a new crop of players coming in. When these players come in, they're going to come in with contract deals already. They're coming in as multimillionaires already, and all they're trying to do is just build the league up, and that's Caitlin Clark ain't going to save the WNBA by herself. She's going to need a crop of future players behind her that has the same skill, the same mindset, and possibly a better attitude towards the game of basketball. And it translates and good shot selections. That's another thing is shot selections. I mean, look at some of the shots. If you go past and you go past, even this year, I'm going to bring up Angel Reese. She's a professional bricklayer. All right, she lays up bricks, and she was considered the rookie of the year. When you're missing about almost like 75% of your shots you're missing, and Caitlin Clark is making 75% of those very same shots. You're talking about a player who's 6'4" versus a player who's 6 foot even, and she has Caitlin Clark has a better inside game than Angel Reese ever could. Technically, in a way, she drives to the basket. Most of the shots are those are high level shots. So you got to make at least eight. You have to make at least 75 to 80% of those shots, especially within 5 feet. But right now, things all changing. It's all collapsing around Angel Reese right now. Oh, by the way, don't sexualize her. I don't care if she did dress like a prostitute the other night on video. There's video going out saying that she looks like she dressed like a prostitute, and she comes out saying, "Oh, please don't sexualize me." Woo-hoo. And you come out dressed like a prostitute. Come on, get real. And that. And Caitlin, any videos you see on Caitlin, she's just laid back, just almost like incognito. She's got the hoodie. She's never wearing anything fancy unless she's going to a party and all that stuff. But she just takes it casual, and she's more casual than because she felt that she doesn't need to be. She wants her off season to be more, let's say, more private, but she posts her stuff on what she does on hers. It's up to her and all that stuff. But people just say, "Oh wow, she's looks like she's boring. She's living a boring off season." Is she playing overseas? Some of the players are playing overseas right now to make over $1 million overseas, which is good. It helps financially the background, but you will see. But then the game has more eyeballs. They pack the place, and you really need to play your game because if you don't play your game, you're not playing in that league. You have to come in pretty hot and heavy. You gotta hit your shots because people pay to see you make those shots, and that. So here's what WNBA needs to improve on. There's been a lot of issues. Players been asking this. The media, even the league is asking, trying to set a policy for social media postings and all that stuff. Trying to control the fans. You ain't gonna control the fans on that, but you can control your players. That is adding fuel to the fire. You can control those players to say, "Hey, don't just ignore these negative posts." That's all you do. Just ignore the negative posts. Take their constructive criticism. If someone is criticizing how you play a game, look at your game on tape and see if the argument is valid. Which they probably won't because they're too stupid up here to know that. You have to improve your skills. And skills are going to get better as these new players continue to come in. There's a couple players in mind that's going to have very good skills, and they're going to run over this old guard like crazy. Like Dinah Trossi said, basically told the rookie class. But Reality is coming for these girls. But the problem is, Caitlin Clark, she sent the reality to one Diana Taurasi, beat her in 3 games straight, also beat her in the All-Star game before she went on the Olympics. That basically sat on the bench. That should have been Caitlin Clark's spot, at least in a way. But hey, at least Caitlin Clark had a nice rest. And guess what? She came back in the second half of the season. Boy, she lit it up. That's why she would have been unanimous rookie of the year, but there was one vote decided to go someplace else. Hey, Brandon, how you doing? Uh, they decided to go someplace else, put that vote someplace else, and guess where the vote went to? Angel Reese. So somebody is sniffing Angel Reese's butt or owes some sexual favors with her. I don't know. And that, um, but yeah, the league wants to control the fans, how they post towards about the players in the WNBA. But basically, the players, they should tell the players, and the players union is a joke. They should tell their players to say, "Hey, take the criticism, look at their criticism, what they're criticizing. Now, there is a fine line between criticism and hate. There is that fine line, and but problem is, any form of criticism is considered hate for these bimbos. Caitlin Clark will take some of the criticism. She said, "Yeah, I got criticized for going this way. I should have went that way." And I said, "I'm going to consider that next time." Caitlin will fess up to her playing mistakes, and that she will admit to it. Other players won't admit to it because they got too much. I can't call it pride. It's called ego, and that. So they got too big of an ego in order to do that. Uh, Here's another thing: the playoff format. This is a good idea. They should have implemented it a long time ago. The best of 3 series. You should. I would. A 1-1 is a good idea, but I prefer a 1-2 over a 1-1 because it reduce traffic. You force the highest seed team to steal a game on somebody else's floor, which they can do easily if you're a higher ranked team. It just gives both teams a guaranteed 1 game. Then the deciding game will always go to the highest seed. Always goes to the highest seed. Then the next round should be a best of 3, not a best of 3, a best of 5. Then the championship, they're going to best of 7. So that is a good idea on that. Also, a good idea since they're adding more teams in the league. They're going from 40 games to 44 games and that. And they just started a 40-game schedule just like a few years ago because they went from 36 games to 40. So they added 4 more games. Uh, I guess there's more games for Caitlin Clark to beat a scoring record, but there'll be a big hashtag on it, technically in a way. So she's going to really have to focus on fewer games and that. Oh, by the way, Cheryl Swoops, the pooper swooper, just remind you one more time that Caitlin Clark NCAA scoring record for Division One, not Division Two. We don't care about Division Two record. Uh, Division One record is technically a overall because Caitlin Clark scored more points in Division One, NCAA Division One, both men and women combined, and she did it in less games, believe it or not, far less games, and that. What else the WNBA needs to improve on? Well, the playoff schedules. You don't want to schedule heads up versus the NFL, college football, and possibly the NBA itself. So basically, you want to look at slower nights to play those games, especially in the playoffs. You don't want to compete. You can compete with NHL all you want. NHL has been having some viewer issues lately for some reason. The viewerships are dropping fast, so I would say I compete with the NHL, but you ain't gonna compete with college and NFL, especially Thursday night football, Sunday football, and Sunday night football, and Monday. You probably compete with Monday Night Football all you want. It all depends on what game they're playing on that. But otherwise, you got Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays available, technically in a way. So yeah. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Yeah, I decided to come on today just to do this. Oh, Monday is Canada's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, Mark, up in Canada, and that. So yeah, I have to remind to say that on my main channel and that. So um, when it comes down to the WNBA, basically is the players has to wake up. They're not going to be because right now the viewers will tolerate it to a point. Yeah, I'm tired, but good. How are you? Yeah, I decided to come on live today because I'm going to be busy tomorrow morning. I'm doing something else tomorrow morning. I gotta do a quick errand. Unfortunately, there's no buses running, so I gotta go. I gotta walk. All right, just getting back to my WNBA thoughts on that. What I like to see next year. Um, if you're going to put your games on national TV, it better be the main channel, technically, uh, like ESPN, main channel on ESPN. They're supposed to be worldwide in sports, and they're supposed to be their bread and butter games. Um, Although more like a few games on Ion would be great because Ion is considered a local TV. That's like a local TV markets, and they do very well there with the WNBA. CBS wants to pick up more games for Sunday during the summer months, and I think NBC wants to pick up some games too. So there's a lot of networks that want to pay money to air some of these games. And with the new TV deal coming in 2026, these girls are going to get paid triple digits in that. Will they make millions of dollars? No. They need to put more butts in the seats and that. And some of these WNBA yeah, you can brag about your sellouts. Atlanta, you can brag about your sellouts all you want, but you're playing in a 3,200 seat building. You gotta remember, you're playing in a high school, literally what you call a high school gym. Chicago plays in a 10,000 seat. That's like a lower division. That's like division. That's like most of the Division 1 schools type arena. Not all, but most has a 10,000 seat arena. And the Wings down in Dallas plays in a 5,000 seat. That's like small college, maybe low Division 1, maybe Division 2, and all that. Yeah, they do have a big TV deal right now. They're currently working off a. They got one more year on a $60 million TV deal, but in 2026, it's going to jump up to well over $260 million. That is a big TV deal. But if these women decide to be petty, thuggish, crying like babies, and all that stuff, they can end up losing. If let's say if Caitlin Clark gets a let's say next season, unfortunately, if she gets a career-ending injury caused by an overzealous player and ends her career, what will happen to the TV deal? That's the $1 million question. Do we need to answer that? Because they have to, in order to have a legacy, you got to have the league still thriving. I remember the old. I'm just going to bring in the old Continental Basketball Association, the old Quad City Thunder, and the Rockford Lightning, and a few other teams. Right now, some of them are in G League. I think the Sioux Falls Sky Force is the only one left that's playing in the G League right now because they're still drawing. Uh, but unfortunately, the Continental Basketball Association went belly up. Thank you, Isaiah Thomas, on your stupidity by trying to own the entire league and flushed it down the toilet. And but what happens to all those legacies and records? Bye bye, down the toilet. No one talks about it. That's right. No one talks about it, except I just talked about it. Would it happen in the WNBA? It could. If they kill their cash cow in Caitlin Clark, that's drawing these fans in, and all you have to do is just, okay, now what do we do to get the Caitlin Clark fans to join our team? It's all very simple. I think I remember the CBA even through Canada. Yep, I think I remember the original. We had one Canadian team, if I remember right. They didn't. I think they only played like 1 or 2 seasons. It must be early in the continental basketball career because if I remember it, it was a very short year for them, very short season because of the travel costs. But yeah, the Continental Basketball Association and that. So it could go away. Like the original Women's League went bye bye and all that stuff. Reminds me of the USFL. Yep. Yep. Actually there's a new version of the USFL, but problem is there's no ties to the old one. It's just treated as a new league and that, or a revised league. But so if I was the players of the WNBA, if I was the players union, I'd get together and say we got to be smarter than this, because we got the cash cow that's gone fans, and the more hate, hey, guess what? Newsflash: the more you put a hate on a person, on anybody, even if I criticize, let's say, other people on this platform, it just makes them stronger, bigger and stronger. But were they going to be legit fans or they're going to be trolls? Who knows? But yeah, the more hate you get on a player, the more fan base they grow, technically in a way. Because right now, I go around town to this very day. I go around town. I'll be lucky enough to see 3 or 4 people in town wearing Fever jerseys, wearing Fever gear. In fact, I'm thinking about ordering some myself, in a way. But I think last time I did a live stream on the main channel at the music festival, there was 3 people that walked around in Caitlin Clark Fever jerseys and shirts. One had an actual jersey, 2 was regular T-shirts, technically in a way. So there's your support right there. If you got a few fans in our area and that, so because we believe Caitlin will save the league, but it's going to take more than Caitlin Clark. It's going to take the younger players a year or 2 before Caitlin Clark to get their heads out of their a-holes and start realizing we're the future of the WNBA. All these older players that act like babies and whiners and complainers and all that stuff, let them whine, let them complain, play circles around them to a point that they will quit. Because even at 42 years old, Dinosaur Taurasi is finally retired. Bye-bye. Not going to miss you, because I only heard from you in college, but when you went to this league, you decided you decided to be an activist, Diana Taurasi. And Brittany Griner will be the next one who will be retired. We don't know if Brittany Griner is a he or she. All I know is that in order to get Brittany Griner back in the United States, thanks Joe Biden for this one, they traded an arms dealer, Merchant of Death, for Brittany Griner, who was actually brought in cannabis, fake cannabis liquids that was totally banned in Russia. That's why she was in jail. But you give up a Merchant of Death, a guns weapons dealer, for something lesser. That'll be the worst deal of all deals in that. So I don't know. If she would have been out anyway within a few months anyway, technically. But they offered a trade. Putin took it, and Putin say, boy, that's one dumb president they have there. I'll guarantee you Putin would have said that. He's probably still bragging about it. Problem is, now he's probably regretting that decision because he's out killing his own people in a way. That was the last report. So WNBA, you got to get your act together, because if you don't, your league is going to go under all your legacies are gone, including Caitlin Clark's legacy could be gone. But can Caitlin Clark save the legacy? Yeah, by playing overseas, she can save her legacy because those leagues been around for as long as the NBA was around. Uh, those are big time leagues in that. And of course, Mark, I'm pretty sure you can't wait for the WNBA team to come to Toronto so you can go see Caitlin Clark yourself. Yeah, save your money. You're gonna have to save a lot of money, a big bundle of it, to see Caitlin Clark one game in person. Yeah, that, if she does what she does outside, if she can hit two logo threes, pass the ball like she does, and make driving lanes and hit short ranges, an all balanced game, and make her teammates look great while making the opponents look like fools, that'd be the money you worth seeing in that. So that's basically it in that. So, but yeah, what will Caitlin Clark do for the second season? We don't know. There's been rumors of a new coach coming into the Fever. They got a new team president. They let go of the other team president and general manager. Lynn Dunn was shown the door. She's only on an advisory capacity, basically, and she'll be shown the door real quick. But the new team president is seeing that we need to do better in marketing. We need to do better on floor product. We need to do more in promotions. We got to take advantage of the star power that we have. Even Aaliyah Boston is a star herself. Kelsey Mitchell is coming on big. They got to try to secure her for another year. They'll probably lose her in the 2026 season when more money is available because of the new TV contract. If she decides to test the free agent market, she's only going to make a measly $10,000 more someplace else. But you have to get rid of the dead weight that costs the team a lot of money. One being is Wheeler. You got to get rid of, not Wheeler, Wallace. You got to get rid of that Aussie girl. That will free up some money. And you got to get rid of Katie Lou Samuelson. That will free up a lot of money to give at least a good hunk to Kelsey Mitchell. I think you want to keep Erica Wheeler as a emergency backup until you develop your own backup. But she's a good player if she keeps her head on straight and got what they need to do to give Caitlin Clark and Mitchell the proper rest during the game, keep the game strong, at least keep it competitiveness, and that's all her role is on that. Would they win with the sixth person award? Yeah, possibly. If the if she comes hot, yeah. Would Caitlin Clark be in the running for the you know MVP? Who knows? It all depends how balanced her game is throughout the whole season. Now she has one season on her belt. All she has to do is just what I like about Caitlin Clark's game, it is what the WNBA needs to do, of all the players needs to do. You set yourself a goal. Set yourself a goal. Set a bar higher than you did before. You don't want to set that bar too low because then it makes it go too easy. Set that bar a little higher. Work to that level. And once you achieve that level, next year you move that level even higher and you exceed there. All you do is just keep that level up. Caitlin Clark, throughout her whole career, she sets that bar higher and higher and higher and higher to a point that she just cannot reach that. When she hits that pinnacle of the level that she wants to play in, and if she sets that goal too high and can't reach it, because you know why? She set her goals up to that point. She went step by step by step, year by year by year. Hi, Matthew Johnson. How you doing? Uh, so it's just, and the rest of the players in the league needs to do the same thing. Angel Reese, you better kiss your playing days goodbye if you don't work on your layups. I think Caitlin Clark will make the next. Yeah, she will make the next Olympic team in 2028 easily. Toronto and Canada will welcome her in open arms in Toronto's new team in 2026. Yep. I'm pretty sure you're saving money for that game, Mark. I'm pretty sure you're gonna be the first one to buy tickets there. You'll be the first one in line to buy tickets. They say buy them early, it'd be cheaper rates. Actually, I don't know. Uh, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting because you're gonna add new teams. It's gonna be new eyeballs, and it's opening new markets, and it's just the players has to treat the fans with respect. If you respect the fans, they'll show up. If you don't respect the fans, they'll go away. Trust me, I have already seen posts and videos already where basically some of the players do not want these fans to attend their games because it distracts them. Well, that's not how you make money. That's how you. Sorry, Chuck. I don't follow the WNBA as much. Yeah, if you watch one game, that'd be the person you want to see play in person. That's what everybody's doing because when she did when she played in Atlanta for the first time, it forced Atlanta to force. See, here's the problem. When you have to force, here's the biggest problem in WNBA with these smaller buildings, and for the exception of Chicago, they screwed up the last meeting. I'll tell you why. The first meeting, they couldn't get the bigger buildings because the bigger buildings were already booked. The United Center was booked, and the Allstate Arena, where technically where the Sky used to play, that's where they hold the record of 17,000 plus. That happened like 5 or 6 years ago. In when they first won the championship. That happened when they won the first championship. They could have moved that last meeting with the Fever to the United Center, or they could have moved it back to the original building because the original building holds the Allstate Arena holds 18,000 plus for basketball, and that's would be a set a new record. And you got plenty of room for standing room only in places at the Allstate Arena. I've gone to the Allstate Arena. In fact, we did a YouTube video from there from the Chicago Wolves game. We went up there, and there's still some standing room only in places. Very select areas, but otherwise, still some standing room only in places and that. So, yeah, you can probably pack in 18,000. It would be a new record, but they don't want to be a Caitlin Clark record. Well, guess what? It's a Sky record, not a Caitlin Clark record. Caitlin Clark record belongs to, yeah, you might say it has something to do with Caitlin Clark, okay? Let's just put it that way. But you can brag it as your own and all that stuff. Assuming that Toronto's new WNBA team will play either in the Rogers Center, Sky Dome, or Air Canada, I think Air Canada Arena would be a better fit. Unless Caitlin Clark comes to town, they'll probably move to the Sky Dome. Imagine that. Because remember, if you guys remember the game last year, just over a year ago, just about a year ago this week, Caitlin Clark played an outdoor game versus it was an exhibition game. It was a fundraiser for the Children's Hospital for the University of Iowa. They played against DePaul University at Kinnick Stadium. This is an outdoor football stadium, outdoors. And it packed in over 54,000 fans for that exhibition game. And guess what Caitlin Clark did in that game outdoors? A triple-double. Yes, she did a triple-double. That means 10 points by shooting the basketball in outdoors, during the 10 assists, all outdoors, and of course her 10 rebounds or 10 steals. And that was a crazy game. So yeah, Caitlin Clark had an exhibition game at a football stadium here at University of Iowa. Iowa football, that Kinnick Stadium holds about 78,000 fans. 75 to 78,000 fans. It drew 54,000 fans. That's a big attendance. Can't tell me she's not a draw. That's tell you what. Caitlin Clark does, and and what makes her really why people love her so much, and why the players need to be humble. They need to be humble. That is a key right there of WNBA. Have your players to be humble. The more humble they are, the more fans will latch on to you, because the more you're humble about your game, the more humble about how you treat your fans, the more humble to sign autographs, give shoes away, take photos, sign the kids' autographs again, doing charity work. That you have to be humble. Don't be selfish. Be humble. What some of these WNBA players are doing? They're go out making podcasts and all that stuff. Like you can go out about, you can do a couple charity works here and there, attend a community event during the winter months. There's community events going on during the winter. Come on, it's not all about something fun. Yep, humble and not selfish, or egomaniac. That's right. The more humble you get, the more fans you draw on that and that. So, and the WNBA players in the rest of the league, they have to learn to put their ego aside, to put their whining and crying, their activism aside, and just be humble of who they are, be humble about their game, and just be respectful for the fans. Because remember, if you're rude to the fans, if a player tells me to go F off, yeah, I'm going to F off of my wallet. My wallet ain't spending a dime on that sad player or its team, because it would suffer. Yeah, so it would suffer. Yes, I hate when pro athletes cry and whine. Yep. I don't mind a player crying and whining about a foul that wasn't called. They have a right to do that. But when they whine and crying about their fan base and all that stuff, it doesn't really help your fan base, because now you just alienated your fan base, because now your fan base is now leaving your sorry ass and probably leaving the league altogether. So that's not good at all. Business 101, always remember, customer is always right, they say. And your paying customer will always be right in a form. Even if they cross the line, business here in the States, they reserve the right to refuse service. So just make sure that's allowed and clear too in your ticket sales. That you have the right to refuse service. It's a fine print you see on your ticket. They can refuse your admission if you're coming in as a total jerk, fool, idiot, moron, or something like that. So yeah. So trading card really is. Yeah. Make plans to watch at least a couple games. Win or lose, watch. I'm just going to say, watch her 3-point shots. They are ridiculously long. I mean, very outside, what they call near the logo, near center court. On one side of the center court, you got that big logo. The logo threes are usually out there near that logo. That's her key. That's her bread and butter shot. For her driving to the basket, passing off to another player. She did a little globetrotter, loopy doo, and all that stuff, and pass it to an open player. Yeah, she knows how to make other players look great, and also make other players look foolish. But then what they have to do, they have to work on their skills to stop that. Otherwise, what Caitlin Clark's going to do in the future, as long as she's in her prime, she's going to be 23, and she's not in her pro prime yet, and she's already playing like she's in her prime. So, yeah, it is. What Caitlin Clark is what a lot of people is saying what Caitlin Clark is. She's the love child of Larry Bird with the passing and that with the passing and assists and ever scoring. She has the shot like Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry is the one that made the logo shot from the NBA. He made the term the logo shot, the logo three. And of course, Caitlin Clark, I'm gonna bring this up, has the marketing of Michael Jordan. So you got the love child of Larry Bird, great passer, a great shot, outside shot like Stephen Curry, and you got the marketing of a Michael Jordan. That is like 3 players rolled up in one. That's how great Caitlin Clark is. And she's just going to improve every year until she gets too old to play this game. And that's a huge comparison. That's right. And that. So now uh, that's why she is the big ticket player in the WNBA. She will be the cash cow for the whole league, not just for herself, but for the whole league. And if you want to kill the cash cow, guess what? You just killed the league. That's very simple, 100% simple, right then and there. You kill the cash cow, you kill the league. So WNBA, if you want to survive and you want to thrive as your own business, this is what you need to do. You need to tell your players to say, hey, ignore social media, look at the positives, ignore the hate, take the criticism with a grain of salt, ignore the hate, but look at the fans, how they enjoy. Even some of the players are upset when they get a compliment. That is not good. When you get a compliment, they're complimenting how you play. You don't have no right to say that to me because I don't take compliments. That's the form of hate. That's how petty they are. They don't know what a compliment is and that. There's some good players. AJ Wilson, I'm going to tell her, she's a good player for a center. That's why she deserves all the MVPs. But right now, she's going to have competition with Caitlin Clark next year. So it's going to be coming pretty close. But what happens if Caitlin Clark has a career-ending injury? How the league is going to survive? Just up to the fan base. That's all you have to do. You got to get that fan base. You got to get those butts in the seats to enjoy the game. You don't want to say, oh, looky here. We sold out the lower bowl. Yay, we sold out the lower bowl. Yay, that's our sellout. Here comes Caitlin Clark. She don't sell out she does not sell out not just a lower bowl. She opens up the upper bowl and sell that thing out. If there's a third tier, guess what? Those seats are gone too. That's what a fan base does. Because fans pay to see a good player. And good teams and had. So can the league actually you need multiple players to tell you the truth. You really need multiple players. But right now, Caitlin Clark is in a league of her own. She has the fan base. They'll follow her where she plays to get a chance to watch her and that. But when you got star players, let's say Camila Cardoso, that's in Chicago, not getting a whole lot of playing time because Angel Reese wants a Pat stat instead, I'd be focusing on Camila Cardoso next season. Get her the ball. She's 6'7". There's no reason not playing your offense to her. Instead of Angel Reese, she cannot hit a layup. If you want to watch Angel Reese, make trying to make layups, you'd be better off to go to a construction site and watch a bricklayer lay bricks. You're gonna have more fun watching that. AJ Wilson of the Aces, good player overall. I would pay to see her play more. In that, you got Brianna Stewart and I can't think of it. It starts with I. They're currently playing in the finals right now. There's another African American player, Collier, up in the Lynx is very good. Good outside shot. Good, real balanced player. In order to compete with Caitlin Clark, she has to improve in those areas, which she's starting to do right now. She realized she's got competition at the point guard position, so she's got to play like she never played before. And here's the problem. Caitlin Clark's game never really changed at much because what they wanted to do is what we saw in Caitlin Clark in the second half of the season. Many people we saw the Iowa Caitlin Clark. Caitlin wants a fast break game. Move the tempo. The fast break game. That's another thing Caitlin Clark loves, a fast tempo game. Because everybody knows a half court game is her weakness. And it seemed like Coach Sides wanted a half court. That was Caitlin Clark's weakness. It's a half court game. If there's one weakness in Caitlin Clark, it's her half court game. Basically, she likes to push the ball whenever possible. Fast break points, make the other team have their tongues hang out, and that. So, in other words, a fast paced game is always a good game to play, and that. So, yeah, we did follow Caitlin Clark in her college years. Unfortunately, like I said, University of Iowa is only like an hour and a half away. We could have attended some of those games if we would have had the time off and a car. We would have attended some of those games, and I would love. I've been to Carver Hawkeye Arena. It's a nice 15,000 seat arena. 15,500 Carver Hawkeye holds. It's considered one of the biggest basketball arenas in college basketball as of right now for Division One. It's a it. I think it's like the. I think it's like the. I think it's the ninth biggest, if I'm not mistaken. Currently, right now, it's the ninth biggest at 15,500 fans. It packs in. It can have a standing room of another 300 or so if they want that standing room only, which is basically the upper level, the concourse area, and that. So, where's University of Iowa? Iowa City. University of Iowa, Iowa City. It's not a very big town at all. Same size as Clinton. It's a big university town, and that I've been to University of Iowa. It's a big campus. It's mostly known for its medical doctors. Uh, it's mostly known for its medical. They got a nice law school there, and they have a nice school for business. So their campus, actually, the main campus for the hospital is the University of Iowa Hospitals. That's the main campus. That's where the hospital is located. It's located across the street from Kinnick Stadium. Technically, across the street from Kinnick Stadium. You got the Children's Hospital across the street from Kinnick Stadium. Run right next to the old Iowa Field House, and it runs north up towards just a couple blocks shy of Carver Hawkeye Arena, and that's the main medical. The other college's location is downtown, where basically that's where you have your law schools and business schools down that way. So it's all over the place. Big college town, and that. So actually, you can Google it on Google Earth, technically, to see how big it is. You will see all the sports facilities. You will see the hospital, Kinnick Stadium. Go north, you will see Carver Hawkeye Arena. But I'm going to let you know, Carver Hawkeye Arena is not a ground up; it's ground down because it was built in a ravine. Carver Hawkeye is built into a ravine. So it's not very tall on the outside. And say, you look at the ground level of Carver Hawkeye Arena and say, that's no way it's a basketball court. Whereas it's supposed to be from the ground. Is it supposed to be ground up? No. They built it down into the ravine. That's how they built that arena. And there's a nice baseball field where the Iowa Hawkeye baseball team plays. And that actually, the Lumber Kings do get a couple of those players during the off season to play for the Lumber Kings, actually, during once in a while, too. So that's how we get some of our players is from the Iowa Hawkeyes, technically, in a way, if they know, because they're close to home in that. So, okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Hey, Mark, thanks for joining. Everybody else, thanks for joining on this. But just sum it up, WNBA needs to get if you're going to have these TV deals work well, you need to have the players to respect the fans, respect what TV does, stop this whining and complaining. You can whine and complain about the officiating all you want, but you're going to complain and whine about the fan base. Especially you attacking somebody else's fan base, you're basically attacking your own fan base without realizing it. And that's never a good idea. and that. Never attack your own fan base of any way, shape, or form. Uh, and that. And just if social media is that bad to you, just ignore the hate and look at the positive. But then these players are so petty, they don't know what's the difference anyway. Caitlin Clark always never focus on her social media because social media is the last thing she wants is that distraction when she's focusing on her game. She'll look into it, look at the positives, but hide the negatives. That's what you need to do. Look at the positives, take the positives, hide the negatives. Just don't even what they say, don't feed the trolls. All right. Even on channels like this, we criticize. We do have a right to criticize. But it's just my advice to the WNBA players. Uh, Learn what Caitlin Clark does. Look what her own teammates are doing. They're signing autographs. They're just going out. All that stuff. And all they're going out signing autographs. They're going out to charity events. They're going out to community. Just even when they go home, just go to your local go to a charitable event like a fundraiser. Be part of that fundraiser to show that hey, I'm just more of a basketball player. I care about my community too. Go to visit your local school that you grew up in, and just give them a little exhibition. I bet you Kayla will be back at University of Iowa during the off season to watch her Hawkeyes play, and maybe give them some advice and all that stuff. Actually, Juju Watkins reached out to Caitlin Clark for some advice for the upcoming season. So I bet you Caitlin Clark will be out there and give her some advice, and maybe advice how to play in the Big Ten, because USC is now in the Big Ten now. USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington State all now playing in the Big Ten for football and basketball and other sports. So I'm pretty sure Caitlin Clark will be out there give her advice how to play against in Big Ten, because that is a totally actually Big Ten, believe it or not, is a physical league. So you think the WNBA was physical? Wait till you see the Big Ten play. It's just as physical. Trust me, it is. I watched another Big Ten play and that. Yeah, she would make a fine coach too. Or even if she doesn't coach, she'll be a good color commentator for any telecast, men's or women's. That's how. So depending on where the money lies and what she wants to do, technically in a way. All right, what I need to do is I need to end this live stream. Please like, share, subscribe button, notification bell. Thanks for the nice comments, Mark. You're great as always. Always insightful and all that. And hopefully, maybe one of these days, maybe I'll just get as lucky to have enough money to go see Caitlin Clark. May have to spend my vacation money to do it, but I'm pretty sure win, lose, or draw. I can't say there's no draws in that, but win or lose, if she gives me a 3-point shot outside by the logo, a couple ridiculous passes, maybe some nice, easy, high percentage layups that she can make and miss, I'll be happy. An overbalanced game and make her team looks great too and stay competitiveness. All right, we're out of here. Please like, share, subscribe, notification bell, and we'll talk to you guys later.